have to say, my original idea was on Saturdays. In the morning, early in the morning, I would come down here to my barn in the backyard, and on Saturdays would be like an acoustic day. And so I got up this morning and I got my coffee in my mug, and I came outside, and it's frigid cold. So that idea went out the window as far as having these done really early in the morning. So I waited until this afternoon until things warmed up a little bit and came down here. Gave it a shot, as you just saw. But it's cold, like too cold. Like, I'm not gonna blame the cold for any kind of sloppy playing or anything like that. That's either my laziness or age. But it is cold, I have to say. But yeah, so Saturday mornings, I want to do, on this channel at least, I am going to do like an acoustic thing every Saturday. Hopefully it'll be longer when it gets warmer. And I was also planning on shooting them outside. One of my favorite YouTubers that actually got me kind of watching YouTube for anything other than like how to fix a car or something. There's a guy named Otis Gibbs, and he's a musician and songwriter, and he started interviewing sidemen, kind of famous sidemen from country artists in the Nashville area, and I can sit and watch hours of his interviews. And his interviews, you don't, many times you don't see Otis at all in his interview. He doesn't, you barely hear him talk. He just lets the people do their thing, and they're interesting people. Kenny Vaughn, I don't know if you guys know who Kenny is, but he's been around in Nashville for a long time, and I know him first as Marty Stewart's guitar player in the Fabulous Superlatives, I think. But I literally can listen to him tell stories about being a kid and going to see like the Grateful Dead and whatnot, because he's a really good storyteller. So I completely, I'm going to rip off a little bit of Otis's deal, because on Saturdays, Otis comes out and has coffee and actually talks about what's going on in his world, instead of just interviewing others. But so I really dig his channel. And matter of fact, he has got a new song out right now that he took an Iggy Pop song and reimagined it, covered it, and I think really unpolished some of the production from the era of the Iggy Pop song. And it's like a production thing. If you listen to the Iggy Pop song and then you listen to what Otis Gibbs did with it, and it's kind of like, wow, I can't believe it's the same song. It gives you a real indication of a song and its production. And when we say production, like the whole thing, like who's singing it, what style, what range, like, it's a completely different song. So I'm going to put a link in the description here, I think. If I can figure out how all this stuff works. This is all very new to me. I'm doing all of it on a phone, because I'm trying to stay away from too much touching of computers these days. I know I'll have to eventually do something more than what I'm doing right now, but for right now, I think I'm just going to do these kind of live, top and tail them, just so there's no slop at the either end. Anyway, story about bad production and songs. And I'm going to go way, way back to 1986 and my first foray into going to a recording studio to record music. And it's kind of wild. Our first place that I ever went to record is 1986. And I can't remember exactly how it got chosen as the place to go. But we had been gigging hard and working hard and saving up all the gig money. And we had two things, a bunch of cash, and this was a band that practiced like 5 nights a week, gigged twice a week, if not more. But we just played every day. We played, so we were tight, and so we were going to cut this demo record, or like an EP type of thing. I think it was 4 songs, and we chose Unique Studio in New York City. We were from Connecticut, and it was about an hour and a half away. And the only way we could afford this is to do like a 12 midnight to 8 o'clock in the morning weekend gig. I feel so bad for the guy who ended up on the session. But anyway, so we got down to New York, and I think we took a train. And so we brought guitars, a couple of each, a couple of pedals. The drummer brought his snare and a bunch of, sticks and whatnot. Bassist brought his bass. And we used the gear that they had down there, the kit and whatnot. And so we got there, and at a little bit before midnight, and this is 1986, and they came out to tell us that the person who was booked before us was running a little bit late, and did we mind? And it could be tacked on the morning session. We weren't going to lose any time. So we said, yeah, sure, what else are you going to do? So we sat out there in the waiting room and played like pinball and smoked cigarettes and whatnot. And it went for like about another hour and a half, and they came out and apologized, profusely to us. And they said the artist was going to come out and wanted to thank us. We didn't know who the artist was. So a second later, Chaka Khan came walking into the room and apologized for wasting our time, taking our time, offered to pay for the time that she had taken from us. And, we were just kind of in awe. Oh my God, this is my first session ever, and there's Chaka Khan is, apologizing to me. So anyway, she did. She picked up 2 hours of our time, and then we went in and recorded. And I don't know how looking back on it, my memory of the whole thing is a little, for numerous reasons, is a little dubious. But we tracked all of that stuff and mixed it. But we had no, there was no producer. We were doing it. And our tracking went exceptionally well. I mean, we were really well rehearsed. And when I say the tracking went well, I mean, we nailed it. This was all to tape back in these days. So there was no fixing it later. Your performance, and they weren't cutting and pasting and moving sections for like demo recordings. So you had to cut it. So and we didn't really have any problems getting our songs down, playing in time without like needing click tracks and all this stuff. And I think all we did was overdub vocals, and then we went into mixing. Problem is right after we overdubbed vocals, we partook in some relaxation, and we had never heard outboard gear like this before. I mean, we're talking about some of the top stuff that was available in '86. I had never heard a real studio plate verb either. Like, we were used to live whatever they were using at a PA. That's what my idea of delay and reverbs were. But these guys had stuff. So as we're going through things and the guy's trying to mix, we're hearing presets and going, hold on a sec. What is that? That sounds cool. Can you? And he's kind of like, you guys want to put flanged delay on the drum track? Yeah. And we'd listen to it for a bit and then think twice, pull back a little bit, leave a little bit on. But boy, we schmutzed that record up, that recording up so bad. We thought it was the cool. I mean, by the time we were done, everything had something on it, and then it was all then put together. And the engineer kept trying to tell us, you might want to dial it back, but we were in our kind of no, man, this is cool, groundbreaking. No, it wasn't groundbreaking at all. It was. We woke up the next morning and listened to our tape back. And all that schmutz that we thought was awesome came roaring off of our little boombox on the little cassette. And it was just like, what the heck did we do? That's too much. And we kind of, had to live with it because we didn't have the money to go back and remix and all that. We ended up recutting the song later on for another recording and stripped all of that goo off of it. But when I say we screwed it up, I mean, there was delays, ping pong stuff that it was bad. And I'll always remember that. And I hope, I always wonder if the engineer that worked on that session ever remembers that. He must have been a beginner engineer at the time at Unique. And because no one would have had to have worked an 8 to midnight. I mean, a midnight to 8 in the morning, unless you were kind of probably a starter. But I'm sure he has a memory of that, where the band came in and got so just absolutely stoned that they basically screwed up an awesome performance with a bunch of presets that they found on a piece of outboard gear. Anyway, it's cold. I am holding this cup of coffee to try to not shiver while I'm doing this. So I've got a heater in here as well, and it just isn't working. So peace out. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend.